Wow.
Okay, campers arrive inside. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today. It's Groundhog Day!
Thank you, Richard Hensel. You probably recognize Richard as one of the original DJ voices you heard over and over and over and over and over again in Groundhog Day. Welcome, campers, to this, the inaugural Harold Ramis Day here in Chicago, with a special celebration for the film Groundhog Day, for which Harold co-wrote the script, directed, and acted in, playing the neurologist. He even co-wrote the opening song, Weatherman. I'm David Pasquazi. I was in the film just a little bit more than you. I also got to know Harold working on other stuff with him. On stage with me here today are many of the actors you remember from Groundhog Day. And today is the first time we've officially reunited since the film premiered in 1993. I can't think of a better occasion to get together than this Harold Ramis Day. Harold, yeah, this was a great film, but we're here for Harold. Harold was a writer, actor, producer, and director. He was and still is a comedy legend. It's hard to believe that a decade has gone by since he died in 2014. A native of the city, Harold loved Chicago. One of his first jobs was writing for the Chicago Daily News, and then was hired as Playboy magazine's joke editor. Yeah, Harold got his comedy chops training at the renowned Second City Theater with this fella. He excelled in improvisation and went on to be a main stage performer, later sharing the stage with John Belushi and this fella, eventually writing and starring on SCTV, the Emmy-winning sketch show. Harold's first screenplay, Animal House, was one of the highest-grossing comedies of all time, followed by a collaboration with this fella, Brian Doyle Murray, on the script for Caddyshack, which would be one of the first of 11 films that Harold directed. He and Brian even created a role for Brian's little brother, Bill. After his success in Hollywood with movies like Stripes, Ghostbusters, and Groundhog Day, Harold relocated his production offices and his family back to Chicago while still creating his films and directing television shows like The Office. Always work from the top of your intelligence was one of the Second City mantras Harold lived by. Today, we are here to honor Harold from the top of his intelligence. Gave us so much laughter, joy, and so many quotable lines like, "Don't cross the streams. Be the ball. Never hit anyone in anger unless you're absolutely sure you can get away with it." And 0.0. Also today with us is Harold's wife, Erica Mann Ramis.
Hi. It's really great to see everybody. Oh my God. And I would like to thank all of you and all the actors who came today, because it just makes Harold live on and on and on. And I would like to also thank Grant DePorter and his team here at Harry Carey's, and Marilyn Gardner and her team at maybe Pier and the Sable Hotel, and also Senator Durbin and the aldermen that came. It's really made this a very, very special day. I have a surprise letter that came at the last minute from Barack Obama, President Obama, and I'd like to read it. To everyone gathered to celebrate Harold Ramis and Groundhog Day. As a Chicagoan and a fan of great movies, I'm so glad that this is how you've chosen to spend Harold Ramis Day. Harold's movies make us laugh, but they also do more than that. They encourage us to root for the underdog, to identify with the outsider, and to remember that we are always capable of changing for the better. So enjoy the festivities. That's what Harold would have wanted. And who knows, maybe you'll wake up tomorrow and get to do it all over again. One more thing to say. I met the drummer from the movie Inside Rio, and he told me some memories about Harold, and one thing he said was he was a Scrabble master. And Harold would have loved to have heard that today. So thank you, Rio.
Thank you, Erica. That was lovely. And how about that? That was the President of the United States of America. Yeah. Next, I would like to welcome Senator Dick Durbin to share a few words about Harold.
It's an honor to be here, and the reason I'm here is not just because I'm a great fan of Harold Ramis and all of his work, but because of a little coincidence. We politicians can tell you that the newspapers often publish our birthdays and ages, and I noticed every time my birthday showed up, there was a fellow right next to me named Harold Ramis. And I eventually figured it out. We were born on exactly the same day. So I used that as an excuse to meet him here at Navy Pier for the first time, and I said, we ought to get together for dinner, thinking it would never happen. But it did happen. Erica and Loretta, Harold and I went out to dinner several times and enjoyed the friendship. He was a wonderful guy, a funny guy. He told me a lot of stories about Bill Murray. I'm sure some of them were true. And he told me about his directorial debut, Erica, in Caddyshack, when he stood out there and decided he was going to pick the setting for the camera. And whoever was advising him said, then we're going to have to chop down that bush and move that car. And he said, what did you suggest? Over here. I said, that's exactly where we're going. He said he had to learn it on the job. He was great fun and a great inspiration to all of us with a genuine sense of humor and caring. I'm sorry the speech isn't a little better. It'll get better tomorrow, and it'll be even better the day after. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Senator, I was up there for a little while, and I remember it was such. Everybody talks about how funny and smart Harold was, but I'm here to tell you, he was also very kind, and that was the thing that I remember going up there. I'm in one scene, but he brought me around and introduced me to everybody as though I was. He made me feel like a part of it, and that was whenever I worked with him. It always felt like that. He made you feel like you were an integral part of whatever you were doing. And we're going to hear from other folks about their experiences with Harold. And right now, Nancy Taylor from the film, Marita Garrity.
That I was invited to be here to celebrate Harold. I worked with a lot of nice people, but I never worked with anyone like Harold. He was so warm, he was so welcoming, he was calm even though he was creative. There was just nobody like him. And working with him, acting in the movie was wonderful. He was a wonderful director. The set had a wonderful vibe. But I wanted to tell you about a story that I remember more than the acting, which is one day at lunchtime, Harold was playing his guitar. No stress, he's calm enough to be playing his guitar. And he shared with me that he was practicing a song that he was going to surprise his wife with. I think their anniversary was coming up, yes. And we talked about her on multiple occasions, and I've never had a director who was busy leading a movie share so much about someone in his family that he loved. So he ruled the game. He was a writer, director, actor extraordinaire, and he kept his family and those he loved in his heart and gave them equal weight, and that's what I remember most about him. So Erica, he was wonderful.